everyone, it's B with another sewing vlog, my second one actually. I'm going to be making a green crop top, exactly the same as the one I'm wearing right now, but with this fabric. So as you can see, it's very stretchy. When I went to Spotlight to get this fabric and this one, I wanted to make the exact same thing but in two variations. So this top is heavily inspired by this black one that I own. So here we are now. I've worn this shirt to one dance battle. I intended this to be more a earthy tone streetwear, maybe with some layering. Maybe I'll wear it with some Birkenstocks. I think it'll look really nice. I don't own a lot of earth tone clothes in my wardrobe just because I find them very hard to match with the rest of my stuff. I just find it easier to pile on a lot of bright colors and hope my personality and gumption will kind of shine through and no one will care that I am wearing pink and blue shirt with yellow earrings shaped like hearts. Like, no one is going to notice that. But however, with earth tones, I find that if I wear like even one thing that's like too bright or too different in tone, it really throws off the whole outfit. Hence why I tend to stick with a lot of monochromatic outfits when it comes to earth tones. So this will be a nice addition to my wardrobe. I intend for this top to not take more than 1 or 2 days, hopefully. Just because I've already made this top, I might come in with some of the roadblocks because when I sew with such a stretchy fabric, the thread does tend to snap and sometimes I just can't control that with my humble sewing machine. So we'll figure out how it's gonna go. It's about 15 minutes past midday on a Tuesday right now, so we'll see how it goes with the top. Yeah! So now I'm just measuring out my original pink top, and lucky for me, I haven't really cut the fabric that was remaining of the pink top, so I can really use that to make the pattern piece. So I'm just tracing the armhole, the neckline, the sleeves, and just measuring the length of the existing top as well. So I'm just measuring half of it and then I'm going to fold over the fabric and cutting it. And now you can see me cutting what I intend to be the back piece out of this fabric. Look at that beautiful olive color, isn't it nice? And now here's the bit where I realized, oh no. Here's the update. Past me was a bit stingy and did not buy the same amount of green fabric as she did the pink one. So I've actually run out of fabric to cut it out in the classic way. But I think I have a solution. So I've just cut out the back piece when I realized there's actually not enough space for me to have a front piece cut in the exact same way. You know, literally has one job, but I think I managed to figure out how to make it work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a seam along the back of the garment. So I will make this back piece into a front piece by cutting out the neckline, and then I will make the back piece out of 2 bits of fabric. So the bits of fabric will be one like half like cut out from here, and ideally I would also have the same half like cut out on the like around this area, but there's not enough space. So it looks like we're gonna have to flip the fabric this way and have another one on the reverse stretch grain. It might be fine, it might not, but we'll see how it goes. But if we want to make this top in one day and we don't want to go out to the shops, this is what we're going to have to do. So as you can see, I'm about to cut out one of the back pieces. So this is going to be the original vertical grain. So what we would like the entire thing to be made out of, but we can't. So we're just doing half and adding in that seam allowance so we can sew it to the other side. And then we move on to that horizontal piece. So as you can see, I'm pinning it down, doing the same thing, cutting it out and leaving that seam allowance, and hopefully it all works out. As you can see here, I'm now pinning those pieces together so that they make one singular back piece. And now I'm getting that front piece and I'm cutting out that neckline. Now I'm just threading my sewing machine with the proper thread. So I use 100% cotton thread. I don't know why I did that, but it works super well and it works way better than polyester thread when it comes to sewing stretchy fabrics. And that's quite counterintuitive to me because usually stretchy fabric is made out of polyester or some sort of elastane, but that strength of the cotton really shines through when you use it on these types of fabrics. Here I am just sewing the sides. And then I go down and do the other side. And then I tie everything off and then I zigzag stitch along the shoulders. And here's the update. So the shoulders used to be like this. Now they're more like this to fit with my actual shoulders, which is great. When the ribbing, so I thought it would cause some issues, for example, because when the ribbing is vertical, it stretches more this way, but when it's horizontal, obviously it'll stretch more up and down. So when you sew that together, it might be a bit weird, but it turned out fine in the end. So super happy with that. It looks normal, it fits great. Here I can be seen threading my overlocker, so I'm removing these red threads and replacing them with these white ones. It's a little bit fiddly to do, but I do like to do it just to have some insurance, so in case the zigzag stitch that I use on my sewing machine snaps, the fabric can fall back on this overlock stitch, which is designed for stretchy fabrics. I'm not great at using an overlocker, especially as the thread tension on it is just really confusing to me, but here we go. I'm just trimming things off and making sure everything's alright and just doing that stuff. And now we are back to sewing some elastic onto the neckline. So in theory, what this is supposed to do is that you sew this elastic and you stretch it as you put it through the sewing machine. So when you stop stretching it, it'll contract. And therefore, when you sew it again, it'll be like very tense along the neckline, which is what you want. Wow, it's looking not great. Looking like a piece of lettuce, because I didn't really stretch this elastic as much as I could have, because the elastic on the pink top is super tight, and I wanted to fix that. But now it just looks terrible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off and then just redo it again and just like vibe it like I did last time. Yeah, it really is like a handful of moss. Alright, cool, time to start again. Karaoke break. Put your head on my shoulder, whisper in my ear, baby. So we got 100 in the karaoke, so we get to put it in the book. Yeah! Something ain't right. My best friend told me what you did last night. Left me sleeping in my bed. I was dreaming I should have been with you instead. It's about to be looking real smooth. So, now that that's elastic is in place, what you do is then you sew along the entire neckline, capturing that elastic with the fabric that you sewed it onto. So this way it covers up the elastic and hopefully bunches the fabric all together very nicely, and then you will only see the zigzag stitch from the outside. You won't see any raw edges. Cool. So here's the update. The neckline didn't quite work out, so I'm pretty sad about that. So the elastic I use is just way too skinny. So when I did the thing where I stretch it and you sew it and then you hope that the elastic contracts and brings the fabric with it, and then you fold it over and you sew it again. So you get a really like tight neckline like here. However, it didn't quite do its stretching and contracting job properly. So it's a bit too like loose and gloopy. And I tried it on and it was fine, but not good enough. So I'm going to unpick this again. Hopefully it works out. Yay! I managed to find the elastic that I used for my pink top, so I'm super happy with it. So for reference, here is the skinny one that I used. Here is the one, my one true love. And here is the one I was about to use before I was struck with a lightning bolt of determination to make this great. And hopefully it's enough. I really hope it's enough. But yeah, I won't know until I try. So yeah, see you guys later. I'm just trimming this neckline down because I've just made it raggedy with the amount of times I've zigzag stitched it and then zigzag stitched it again and then had to unpick it. So now I have to trim it all down so it looks nice and it won't fray anymore. Oh my gosh guys, we got there in the end. Finally. So yes, wonderful things can happen when you find the exact 6mm elastic that the Lord intended you to use for this top. So it's all great here. I think I'm also going to make the armholes a little bit bigger just because in the pink top, they really actually cut into my armpit, which isn't very pleasant. And I thought at first that, it's just the nature of the elastic, because it has to like bunch all that up. But then I realized looking at the pattern that it's actually sitting quite close, and I'm like, could use a little less fabric there. So yeah, I'm gonna make it happen. Yeah, 24-hour challenge. Woo. So yeah, I think I'm pretty happy. It's currently 11:45 the next day and we are done. Yeah, so this is, the hem's pretty much finished. Look at the back. And yeah, it's also super nice. I do like this. It actually looks pretty cool, can't lie. But yeah, woo! Here we go. Here's the finished top. Here's how it looks when it's worn. Thank you for joining me on another sewing vlog. Fortunately, this one was only 1 day long, so I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty proud of myself. Even though I took some shortcuts and there were bits of the tops that were a bit rushed, for example, along the sleeves and the hem. But the thing is, I think it'll be fine, and with wear, I'll kind of get used to it. So that's it. Thank you for watching. And now it's time for the B-roll.